MERF is very important to me because it helps others, but most importantly, it helps musicians. I come from a musical family, and there's too many times that they struggle, and everyone takes them for granted. They bring music to your life, they make you euphoric with what they bring forth, and it's a major part of life, and to be involved is to be in a part of that. MERF started back in 1981 with Marvin Maxwell when he was in a bad wreck, and the community came together and raised a benefit, and he had extra, so he wanted to pay it forward basically and make sure that others out there needed it. So he originated this and ran it for years and years, and Wayne Young was in there, and they just did great things.
I never got anything like that, and I said, when I went into it, I said, really what we want to do in Louisville is put beans on the table. Because I knew that we couldn't raise enough money. You know, everybody says, well, you need to buy insurance. You can't afford to buy insurance for everybody that plays music. That's ridiculous. But what you can do is in emergency situations, hand them a chunk of change to pay the phone bill, because if they don't have a phone, they can't get a gig, you know. So, and I remember one year that one of the grooviest musicians in town was sick and in the hospital, and MERF actually bought some of the toys for his kids, because he couldn't even get out of the hospital to buy anything for his kids. So it's done a lot of strange things like that to be able to help people in catastrophic situations.
Well, originally MERF impacted my life when I heard about Marvin being in the accident. We were all devastated. Nobody knew what to do, and we couldn't believe that somebody was actually going to do something to help raise money locally, to do something for such a great guy that everybody knew, because everybody knew Marvin. You know, he was like the guy. So I just love the concept, and I've performed at a lot of the fundraisers. But actually, over the past 2 years, after my diagnosis with rheumatoid arthritis, which has ultimately affected me physically, and I've had to have a total knee replacement. I have to have an additional knee replacement. And when I was down and I was in a lot of trouble, I turned to MERF, and they helped me save my home. Because of I could have been homeless, but they saved me, so I'm not.
We help by giving groceries, paying for medical office visits, paying for medicine so that you keep on your medicine. We have done benefits for people in great need that are going through cancer and can't pay for chemo or radiation. We've paid for funerals, or a portion of, not all, you know, we have a limit. There's been musicians that are on the road, their cars break down, they need help to get to the next gig. We've done that. There's so many avenues that you can help in, but we can't do anything without donations.
Absolutely. Well, we're a small community in this town, and everybody needs to pal together in order to raise money. But I've seen it with my personal friends over the years, Steve Ferguson and Jim Rosen, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. And when the community comes together to help support those things, again, when people are in need, the music community works together to make something happen for those folks. You know, a lot of these people are very proud, and they don't want to ask for that assistance. But I think that it's important that we're all there supporting each other. Again, what we do is a blessing in a lot of ways, and so, you know, but we don't make a lot of money doing it. So people don't like to ask for help, and when they need it, it's there. And that's what this community is all about.
Musicians are not always the ones that have a lot of money, and health insurance is going through the roof now with Obamacare. A lot of friends of mine have had many health problems and didn't have the money to take care of that. And MERF was a way to kind of give back and get these guys some help.
Musicians don't have insurance, they struggle day to day, they sacrifice their families to go out and bring music to other people. It's not just because they want to play, although there's a lot to do. Too many are without, and they work their tails off, and sometimes they need to help up.
Because MERF saved my life. If if I hadn't came in contact with MERF, I wouldn't be here to even talk to you today. And I pay that back. Thanks to MERF, I was able to get critical medical care and medical insurance that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to receive. And because I'm now healing, thanks to assistance from MERF, and I'm gonna start crying because it just touches me so dearly, I paid it back. I feel like when someone helps you, you should pay it forward, and my way of paying it forward was to join the MERF board, help other musicians to be able to stay alive as well.
I can remember the first one that we actually did was down on Main Street where all the clubs were. I'm not talking about the one that they did for me, I'm talking about the official MERF, and I thought, how in the world are we going to keep an eye on the money out here on the street when people pay? And we actually got a whiskey barrel, and I cut a hole in the top of it so you could put $5 in it, but you couldn't get it out. You know what I'm saying? And I changed it to a no parking sign down there on Main Street, so when people paid their money. And what was really strange is at the end of the night, we picked that whiskey barrel up and threw it in the back of my pickup truck and took it out to, I think we took it out to the Union Hall and took an axe to it and busted that thing open. And all that money was soaked with whiskey. And we put the deposit together and took it down and put it in the night deposit at the bank. Man, Monday morning, the bank called me and they said, when they came in, said the whole bank for the whole day smelled like a still. Citizen Bank never forgave me for that, but it was.
Well, I've always been involved in the music scene around town, whether it be on one end or the other, and a friend of mine came along and said, I think you'd enjoy this, and I went to a board meeting and never left.
I decided to become a board member and be a part of the planning process. And several years later, I found myself needing the assistance of MERF. So it's become very full circle for me, and I hold it very near and dear. There are actually a few musician friends I have right now that I know that need help that are afraid to ask for it. What I would say to them is most of them have played some of these benefits that have helped other musicians make money, and this is why we do it. And there's no shame in the game because we're all doing this for each other. It's almost like we're just scratching each other's backs at this point. And I think some of them are afraid, honestly, to have people know that, oh my God, I received aid or whatever. I understand that completely, but it's not like food stamps. It's not like you're signing up for something that's controversial. These are musicians raising money for musicians, and that's the whole point of it.
Well, because any of us could be in trouble. Getting cancer is nobody's fault. It's just a diagnosis that you receive, like I did with mine, arthritis. But it's been really a wonderful thing to be able to tell somebody in trouble, hold on, it's going to be okay. And not only is it going to be okay, you're going to be surrounded by people that you already know. And in a crisis, when you have friends and family that can be there for you, it makes all the difference in the world, so you don't have to expose yourself to strangers. You can expose yourself to a guitar player, a drummer, a horn player, because you know those people, and they know about what it's like to be an artist and the difficulties that we have, and no health insurance, and we don't make a very high wage, unless you're I don't know, a show band or something, but with just a typical blues band or rock band in any town, you're really not going to make a whole lot of money, so your opportunity for insurance is pretty slim and none. And thank God for moments like this with MERF. You can not only, you're going to be getting support from your local musicians, and then they also have the opportunity to, if you're in big trouble like I was, they can actually help you out of your financial problems, which is a big deal.
MERF is an organization that is completely privately funded by the generosity of normal people. There's no external funding from the city, from United Way, from Center for the Arts, the Fund for the Arts, none of it. This is totally funded by people who love music and musicians and the people surrounding it. As far as I know, and I think I'm right, the majority of the funds raised for MERF are through benefit shows, and we do a lot of them. And we do a lot of them because there is a big need for them. So what we're hoping to do in the future is secure maybe some grant writers or some other ways to get funding, to not rely on the generosity of people. However, the generosity of people has really sustained this organization.
As we are getting older, the guys, I mean, we hope that you never have to use it, but you got to support it when you're young in order for it to be there in case somebody in the family needs it.
And it's so important to participate because one day you're going to be the one on the stage and the next day you're going to be the one on the phone asking for help. So as long as people will remember not to be prideful and to be willing to allow people to help them, then you don't have to wait to the last minute and your world's falling apart. You pick up the phone and you make a phone call, and the person that you call is going to be somebody you already know from the gig, you know? So it's perfect.
And it's easy to do because
it's easy to do.
Facebook now,
Facebook,
you can go website.
That's correct.
The first line of reference would be to go directly to the MERF website, which is merfbenefit.org. And there's a donation tab there, and no amount is too small. If you're wanting to donate money or get more information about MERF, you can also visit the Facebook. There's a lot of activity that goes on there, and we like to encourage people to invite. The more people that join that page, the more reach that we have to let people know that we're there to help them.
Honestly, I got so involved in the organization and I saw how many lives it touched, and I was so embarrassed at first to ask for the help, and then I'm like, why am I not asking for this help? And it was almost like, why didn't you ask us sooner? Because I had gotten to the point where, I really didn't know what to do. And I was embraced more almost for asking for the help, you know, and I've spent a lot of time raising awareness and stuff for MERF. I want to give that back. I want to let my friends know I'm doing this for you. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for all of us. You know, this is important work, and there are a lot of languages in this world, and everyone speaks music.
The bands around town, you know, the music, they're so giving. You know, they keep giving, and nobody gives to them like MERF can. And they give their time. They never, ever take for granted that we're doing this and taking money. They just enjoy doing it and helping out, and they know they're helping each other.